Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel Jade Rhapsody. Today I'm going to do a do-it-yourself Christmas gift. I'm making a double chain necklace it's a double chain tassel necklace actually for my aunt for Christmas. And I have a tape measure and the tool set that I normally use. So my chain nose pliers, my round nose pliers, some snips, and flat nose pliers. So we'll get started, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have all of our materials in some sort of box, so I like to keep them organized. I'm going to be using a variety of stuff, some heart beads, probably need like, let's see, about 14 of those. We are going to be using two types of chain. That's the first thing we're going to do is cut our chain. I'm going to be using one of these round beads, two bead caps to go over the round bead. I'm going to be using 4 of these ring beads. Of course, our lobster clasp with a jump ring already attached. I'm going to be using the triangular or cone-shaped bead cap, which is right there. You can see that shape. I'm also going to be using 2 of these heart beads with circles on the top and the bottom. They're going to be part of the chain actually. And of course we're going to be using a lot of jump rings, so I've got a bunch of those assorted sizes out here. And additionally I may do a variation where I use some regular round beads. So we're going to get started by cutting our chain first. So I'm going to need 2 of these, 2 different types of chain. I'm going to line them up next to each other. And I've got a little heart chain here I just got, because I thought that would be really pretty. It's going to be a double strand chain necklace. So I'm going to line those up next to the measuring tape, and I'm just going to cut every 6 inches. So I want 3 lengths of 6 inches of each type of chain. So I'm going to hold that up there. So we want 6 inches. So I'm going to cut this heart out. And I don't think that yeah. So this chain is actually soldered. So I actually have to cut the link out that I want to separate. So I'm going to have 6 inches of that. Now I don't even need my measuring tape anymore. I can measure it against the other length of chain that I've got here. So I want these to be as close as possible in length as I can get them. And you can do that with your chain nose pliers. And just put both pieces of chain on the tip of your chain nose pliers. And so I'm going to want this one. I'm going to open this one. And some of the chain isn't soldered, but some of it is. This one I don't think is, so I can actually just open this. And to do that, you'll so I've got one link in there, you'll hold one steady and you'll twist the other one. I need to do it sideways. I don't think it's soldered. If it's not soldered, it's kind of like a jump ring where you can just take that piece right off. And then now I've got both chains cut at 6 inches each, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut 2 more 6-inch lengths of this chain and 2 more 6-inch lengths of this chain. So now, as you can see, and I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit, I have 3 6-inch pieces of my heart chain and 3 6-inch pieces of this chain. Now I'm going to begin connecting the chain, and to do that I'm going to use some jump rings. So I'm going to want to pair these up. So I want these 2 together, these 2 together, and these 2 together. And I'm also going to use my clasp at this point. So I'm going to use a small jump ring Well, let's just use all this size jump ring. I think I have that. So you're just opening the jump ring, and I've shown this in many videos. So it's open right now. So you open and close it. You can either use your fingers on one side, or you can use the 2-plier method. So I'll move these out of the way. So one is stationary, the other moves. And that's so you don't bend it. I'm going to put the clasp on this end. And then I'm going to put 2 pieces of chain on there. So that one, I guess I could keep it right there. And that one. And then I'm going to close that jump ring. And you can tell when it's flush. Now I've already got a jump ring on this side, but that's going to be my clasp jump ring, so I'm going to actually add in another smaller jump ring there so that I'm not putting too much pressure on that clasp. So again, one stationary, that's the left hand, your right in the film, the flat nose pliers, and then the chain nose pliers will just pull it up. We'll put on our jump ring. And both of our, I want to make sure you get it on the last link on the chain. Both of our pieces of chain there. Now this is going to be the back part of the necklace, so I've got some charms that we're going to put in the middle here. I'm going to show you how to do those really quick. So I've got a start of the necklace here. Go this way. And then I'm going to have some charms here, and then this is going to be the front part of the necklace then. So on this piece, I'm just going to be putting a jump ring on each end. So you can see this will be the back, there'll be charms here, and then this will be the front. And so I just need 2 more jump rings for that. And it's the same thing. So you just put one on each end with 2 pieces of chain, and I'm not going to use both pliers, so you can use your fingers too. So put one there. And one there. And then we'll close this. We will be putting a charm on this in a little bit, but I want to close it to keep the chain from coming off of it while I'm working on making the charms. So we'll do that here too. Put both pieces of chain on there and close it. And like I said, we will be putting charms in between these 2 lengths of chain. So, oh, and we also need jump rings on this end. So we'll need 2 more down here. So we'll do the same thing on this end of the chain. Just be putting in the chain. And you might want to make sure it's not twisted. I need to check that other piece and make sure I didn't get it twisted. So there's that end. And then we'll be ready to make our charms. Just make sure it's not twisted. And you can do that by holding it up. Just want to make sure this is on the outside and this will be on the inside. And then close that jump ring. Now we're ready to start making our charms. Okay, so we're ready to start making our charms, and technically these 3 here, I don't need to do anything but connect them with a jump ring or 2. And then these little hearts are the ones that I'm going to have to put on a head pin, no, a loop pin, sorry. And I have some shorter loop pins. So we'll use some small loop pins and we'll make all 4 of these little hearts into charms, and then we'll connect this part of the necklace to each other. And I do have a new package here, so forgive me to open that. So I want to use the smallest length. I have 3 different lengths. So these are the smallest length. And technically I don't think I know what exact length they are, but I can measure them, I guess. So I'm going to need 4 of these right now. So there's 4, and you can see they've already got a loop on one end, so that makes my job easier. So I'm going to move the rest of this out of the way. So I'm going to do this 4 times. I'm just going to show you once. So I'm putting the heart on the loop. We'll zoom in on that. So you can see there's a loop at the end. I've got the heart on there, and then I'm just going to make a loop on the top of this pen. And I do that by making a 90-degree bend at the top of the heart. So you can see it's perpendicular to the way the pen was going through. And I will use my round nose pliers, and I will put them at the top of that bend there. And I'm just going to use my finger and loop that around that. Now you can just straighten that up a little bit. You can kind of bring that around. See, I've got a loop there now. And then I just need, it's just as simple as using my snips to snip that little excess piece right there off. So let's see, just get right down, maybe. Might need to pull it out a little bit. I don't like these snips as much as the other snips, I don't think. Maybe I just was too harsh on them. So then I'm just gonna flatten that out, kind of make it flush, make it look nice. The round nose pliers back in there and kind of play around with it until we get it the shape that we want. And we can use our other snips and cut a little bit more off. That's what I'm going to do, I think. And then, so it's not quite touching, but that's okay because I can just fix that right here with these. And then these do have these are actually 3-in-1, so round nose, flat nose, and they have a snip in the center, so I can use that flat part to flatten that out. Or I can use my flat nose pliers, so everything needs to be nicely shaped. Oops. I went a little too far with that. But I'm going to do that 3 more times, and I'm going to have, then I'll have 3 of these heart charms. 4 total. So as you can see, I have all 4 of my heart charms here, and we are going to make some more of these heart charms, but I probably won't show you how to actually put it on the pen and make the loops again, because we'll be using head pins on those, but they'll be for the tassel part. So we've already seen how to make the heart charm. But now we're going to connect all of our center pieces here. So we've already got our jump ring on this end of our chain. So we're going to open that jump ring, we're going to put our heart on there, we're going to close it, and like I said, you can do the 2-plier method or you can use your fingers. I'm going to put this in the center so that we can zoom in on this. So next I have another jump ring. and it's going to go on the other end of the heart and on this ring, and then we're going to close that one. And then another jump ring on the other end of the ring. And then we'll put this top part of this heart on there. And then we'll close that one. And then we'll do that again on the bottom part of this heart. And this is giving it a little extra detail, so it's not just a plain double strand chain. So I wanted to add a little detail. And you can do, you don't have to do the heart charm. You can get 3 of these hearts and put those right on there. Or you could get, make 5 of those, or get 5 loops, or whatever, you know, whatever design that you decide to do on yours. I just decided to do this because I wanted to break up the double chain here in the little, on the edges, to make it a little bit more unique. And I had these charms already, or these beads already, that match the silver color scheme. And so that's what our side's gonna look like. And then, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and connect this bottom part of the chain with the jump ring that's already on there. Open that and put that heart on right on there, and then I'm going to do the same thing that I just did on, of course, on the other side of, I'm not sure why that's not landing. Oh, because of this goes like that. So I just did that right there. I'm going to do it on this side of the chain as well. And then I will have, the chain will be complete and we'll be ready for the pendant part. So here is our finished double chain with the embellishments that we put in on the sides. So now we're ready to start with the central piece, and to do this we're going to need the rest of our materials. We'll need more of these hearts. We'll need 11, I think, of these hearts. And we'll go ahead and first thing that we'll do is we'll make these. So we've got some more of these heart beads here, you can see. We'll make these into charms like we did on the actual necklace. So we're going to make 10 of those for right now. Oh, for this part I do want to mention that we will be using the head pins. So we're going to do it the same way though. So we're just going to put our heart on the head pin, and you can see it's not a loop this time. It's just flush at the bottom. I think you can see that. I can't zoom in anymore. So it's just flush at the bottom instead of having a loop, and then we're just going to do that the same way. So we're just going to bend that at a 90-degree angle. And we do want a loop at the top, so we'll still be using our round nose pliers, and we'll just twist that around there. And then snip that end off. And I have to push it out a little bit. Snip right there, and then flattening it out with our flat nose pliers again. And then we'll just do that to all 10 of these. Okay, so I have my 10 heart charms with the head pin, so they don't have a loop at the bottom, but they have a loop at the top. And now I'm back to cutting chain. I'm going to want 10 2-inch segments of this heart chain. So I'm just going to show you the first one, and I'm going to do that again the same way as I did it with the 6-inch segments. So I'm going to measure it up against there, and I'm going to say this piece can come out, and then 2 inches there, and I'm going to do that for 10 segments. And here's an easy way to measure that. You can put it on a wire, let it dangle down, and that will tell you exactly which segment to cut. So it gets harder and harder to work with the chain the smaller it gets. Okay, because this wasn't soldered, I only had enough for 8 lengths of chain, but I'm just going to go ahead and use 8 of my charms instead of all 10 of them. So here are my 8 charms. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to put a jump ring in there. I'm going to connect them directly to the loop that I just made. But I'm going to open that loop the same way so I don't misshape it. And I'm going to connect each loop on the heart charm to each length of heart chain that I had. So it's going to look like that, and I'm going to do that with all 8 lengths of chain. You can do more. I just ran out of chain, so I'm not going to do 10. I'm going to do 8 instead. Okay, so now I have all pieces of chain with a heart charm at the bottom. So I did end up with 8, and I'm going to put all of those onto one jump ring. So just open that, and I'll put each one of these. This will form my tassel part, chain into the jump ring, and there you see I have a nice little tassel. And now I'm going to show you how to make the rest of the tassel so that can dangle down. So for this, I'm going to need my 2 bead caps, my central bead, my triangular cap. I need this at the top, and then I'm going to need, this time, instead of one of the short loop pins, I'm going to need a long loop pin. So I'm going to use a long loop pin. The most important thing on this is before I feed this into this and start putting all of my design on there, I have to connect the jump ring with the length of chain so that it is recessed up in that triangular cap. So I'll open that, I'll put the loop that's already on there on that, and then I'll close it. And then I'm ready to design my tassels. So I have the triangular cap over top of that. So the heart there. Then I'll put the bottom part of my cap facing upward, my central bead into that, my top part of my cap facing downward, and then top it off with a heart. So that's my central design for my tassel. And then I just do the same thing, and I'll make a loop at the top so that I can connect it to the chain. So I just make that 90-degree turn in there with my chain nose pliers on that piece of wire, and then I'll use my round nose pliers again, and I'll just use my finger to wrap that around, tighten it up. Flush. I need to pull it out a little bit, so go ahead and use my snips to cut that piece off. And then I'll use my flat nose pliers to flatten that piece out. And that's the same thing that I did to make the charms on the actual chain and the charms down here. Same process. So this is my pendant then for the tassel, and I'm ready to put that on my chain. So I've decided to use a larger ring. Actually, I'm going to use one of these rings because I have one left. And since that ring doesn't technically have a, it's not soldered, So let's zoom out a little bit here. So I do have one of these rings left, but to put that on there, I'm going to need to slip it over the chain, and this will just keep it from coming off. So I'm just going to slide that on there. Make sure this isn't twisted. And then reconnect that there. Here I will just use this part of the loop just like a jump ring like I did on these. So I'm just going to open that. Let's see which side opens. It's hard to see. It's this side. Open that, and we'll just slide that directly on there, I think. And if you decide that you want a jump ring there, you can put a jump ring there. I just think that this will make it a little stronger. Close it up. And that's it. That's the do-it-yourself Christmas tassel heart double chain necklace for my aunt in my case, and you can try and make this for whoever you'd like to make a do-it-yourself Christmas gift for. Move this out of the way so we can see that in its entirety. Sometimes it's better if we lift it up a little bit and then put it on there. So there we go. There we have it. The Christmas double chain heart tassel necklace in its entirety, and you saw it here. And I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas holiday, and stay tuned to my channel here on YouTube, Jade Rhapsody, for more jewelry tutorials.